10, another England man, Mark Hateley. 11, Ian Durant. Rangers, 12 straight wins behind them. They'll not be low on confidence. McCoist and Hateley fully expected to offer many problems for the Leeds defence. Stephen in midfield and Goff at the back provide quality in vital areas. But it's McCoist with that golden touch of his. He's holder of the European Golden Boot for his 34 league goals last season, and Leeds rightly will fear him tonight. Leeds, for their part, can put up Frenchman Eric Cantona. Not at his best so far in this European campaign, it's true, but somebody that Rangers will know little of at first hand. Well, Cantona joins a team that's got John Lukic in goal, 2 John Newsom, 3 Tony DeRigo, 4 David Batty, 5 Chris Fairclough, 6 Chris White, 7 Gordon Strachan, 8 Cantona, 9 Lee Chapman, 10 Gary McAllister and 11 Gary Speed. It's the team that beat Stuttgart in Barcelona. Newsom again at centre-back, Fairclough at right-back, Strachan on the right flank, allowing Speed a free roll over towards the left of midfield. A wonderful atmosphere, as we were saying. The substitutes tonight, the Dutchman Peter Hoekstra amongst the Rangers subs, Carl Schutt, the hero of Barcelona, in the Leeds bench, but no place either for Scott Sellers or Steve Hodge. All eyes now on the referee, who comes from Belgium, Alphonse Constantin. And a noise here in Ibrox. 42,000 crowd, and a noise with an intensity about it that almost hurts. And you get the feeling that that really could also be a significant factor on this very important night. No away fans, of course, no Leeds United fans here tonight. It's all Rangers here tonight. Howard Wilkinson trying to play that down, saying, well, the crowd can't tackle and the crowd can't kick the ball, but they can have an intimidating effect. They can in fact influence referees, they can break a player's nerves, and they can inspire. So the crowd might well be a factor here tonight. Leeds then in the yellow shirts, attacking the goal to our right. Batty in the midfield again, and Leeds always look more comfortable with Batty in that midfield area as opposed to right back where he has played. Long throw towards Lee Chapman, 3 Rangers defenders around, and Leeds get the first corner of the night. We must deal with the emotion of the night, said Howard Wilkinson. He paid the penalty when we got slack in the last half hour of the game in that first match against Stuttgart. Other than that, Leeds have performed well. Strachan knocking it in, Fairclough had gone in there. And a brilliant start for Leeds, Gary McAllister. Silencing the Ibrox crowd in the most effective way. Andy Gorham clutching for the ball and didn't really get a touch on it. Strachan's corner, McAllister's shot, the skipper's example, and a brilliant start for Leeds. Ron Atkinson.
Yes, well, what a dream start. One of the great goals in the European campaign. That ahead of away is quite decent, but Gary McAllister on the edge of the box picks up the drop well, picks up the volley, and it's gone straight down Andy Gorham's back of Andy Gorham's neck. He's no chance there. A magnificent goal.
Well, a wonderful start now. Leeds must stay calm, get their tackles in. They've got a free kick. A sensational start then here at Ibrox. Leeds United a goal up in the first minute. Well, talking about getting on top of the crowd, there's really no better way of doing it than that one.
No, I mean, it's the perfect remedy to a crowd. I don't think it actually affects them that much. I think the Leeds players themselves, they're used to playing in big games. They'll be inspired by the crowd.
Chapman up in there as well. Ball knocked out to McCoist. That was a crude challenge there by White. A totally unnecessarily crude challenge there, and suddenly the tide will turn against Leeds if they do not keep their discipline. You can see the point of the referee, and I don't blame him, and I do blame Chris White. That's the last thing that Leeds have got to do. They've got to stay calm, they've got to get their tackles in fairly. That was a clumsy and a silly challenge in an area that didn't really matter. McAllister forward. Now Batty on the break. Stopped by Robertson. And Brown gets it back to Andy Gorham. Hately winning it in the air above Chris Fairclough. Here's John Newsom, calmly getting it away up towards Lee Chapman. Ian Durant now to Robertson, the fullback. Ferguson getting it back to Goff, playing at centre back. McPherson playing basically at right back tonight. A nice little touch from Hately, putting Ferguson away, and Dorigo back superbly for Leeds United.
Yes, we were talking to Walter Smith before the game in the hotel, and he was talking about how well Leeds have played since Strachan's come back on his game. And it looks as if he's paying special attention to him tonight. We were wondering what he was going to do on the left-hand side of his midfield. Well, he's answered it already.
Hately to McCoist. Certainly looked a penalty. McCoist very, very disappointed indeed. And that looked very much like a penalty, Ron Atkinson.
Very much so. I mean, it's a super flick on here from Hately. He's beat the defender, and it looks as if Chris White has just made enough contact, possibly to be a penalty. I'm not quite so sure, having looked at it again, Brian, to be fair to you. I mean, the first reaction from up here was it looked a penalty, but
what was also significant was that's twice Hately has beaten Leeds defenders in the air. He's going to be a real threat for them tonight. Durant now getting it into McCoist, but he lost that, and McAllister got back, and Batty also. Leeds just at the moment looking a little bit vulnerable as Rangers come for them. Robertson getting it away, again up towards Hately. There's the lead. Hately gets it in the air, but Batty now collects, finds Newsom, calmly across to Dorigo. Not forward again there. And Gorham gets it away. Cantona had not got back into an onside position. McPherson. The Rangers fans absolutely stunned by that first minute strike from Gary McAllister, finding their voice again now, and certainly the likes of McCoist and Hately are offering them some hope as Rangers push forward now looking for that equaliser. But here are Leeds again. Cantona turning the ball in. Brown getting it short to Durant.
yes, that's all right, Brian, because for me the two most important players for Leeds tonight are Newsom and Chris White, and they're dealing with the main threats, Hately and McCoist, and they have got a little bit of a suspect area there sometimes, Leeds, this season.
Good ball by McCoist. Sorry, Ron. Newsom had such an excellent game in Barcelona against Stuttgart. He was put into that central defensive area. Strachan, a little flick by him, speed, being played at a furious pace this. And Strachan's gone down injured, something that must have happened off the ball, and he's in pain. But Dorigo takes it up for Leeds United, in towards Cantona, knocks it down towards speed. And it's gone behind for the goal kick. Strachan is really struggling.
Yeah, that was so close to a second goal, wasn't it there? But I think it was Ian Ferguson caught Strachan with a late challenge. It was vigorous frustration. I don't think it was intent there. I think it was just Strachan moved,
beaten by Batty.
Strachan seemed to move the
Hately.
ball on him a little bit quick, right?
Sorry.
Strachan seemed to move the ball on Ferguson a little bit quick.
Ferguson. Hately trying to get in there. It's Lukic's ball. Let's have a look for Strachan again. He's hobbling pretty badly, and as we all know, he is so influential. And he's just having a shout to the bench, but I think he's trying to run it off. If you've just joined us a bit late in this European Cup tie here in Glasgow, Leeds have made a dream start with a goal by Gary McAllister in the first minute of the game, leading by a goal to nil. Here's speed, and now Strachan for Leeds. The cross coming in towards the near post, possibly. That's where Lee Chapman wanted it, and he'd taken up an excellent position, and Strachan couldn't find him.
They do look impressive coming forward though, Leeds, don't they? They've got that midfield, which is the strength of the side. The midfield, the shape now that won them the championship last season, and I always think they're far more effective with that four in there.
Strachan again with the corner. Rangers get it away. McAllister. Batty. Another corner for Leeds. Conceded by Ali McCoist.
I just wonder whether Rangers might be better. They've taken everybody back and put everybody in the penalty area for each corner, and it Leeds players completely free outside the box. You wonder whether they should start easing players outside the box onto the Leeds midfield players.
Strachan's corner, floated in towards the near post, dangerously right across there. Newsom was up in there.
They are dangerous, aren't they? And those, there looks a possibility of a goal chance every time that because Strachan delivery is so good. We've got big players in there that can deal with it, and you know, we've got people like McAllister on the edge of the box that can volley.
Just to get back to the latest bulletin on Gordon Strachan, he looks to be moving much more easily now, which would be good news for Leeds United. Haley nods it down. This will be Lukic's ball. One in the air by Brown. Strachan picking it up for Leeds. Goes past the challenge. Well, it wasn't really a challenge with Ferguson. Splits it wide for Dorigo. Cross by him towards Lee Chapman. Stuart McCall getting it away for Rangers. Haley. Ferguson. Trevor Stephen. Up to Ian Durant. Haley. Haley getting it back to Stephen. Ferguson again. Big Dave McPherson on the far side. Back for Goff. Leeds have shoved a lot of players back as well. Watson the defender, but well wide of the Leeds United goal. A good 3 or 4 yards wide from David Robertson. Rangers moving with a bit of confidence now. As I'm saying, 12 successive wins, 5 points into the lead at the top of the Scottish Premier table. Title they've won for the last 4 seasons, but their overall record in Europe over all these seasons is pretty poor. Just one European title to show for it all back in 1972, the Cup Winners' Cup. McCoist with a header. Batty, well, there was looked an elbow there by Batty on Haley.
Yes, a little bit stupid there, really, David Batty. He'd actually won the ball, he got himself on the ball, and Haley had lost it, and then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to go to war with him. That's the last thing Leeds want now, is the game built up and getting the crowd angry.
Absolutely right.
They want to just keep passing the ball now, because they've got so much extra in midfield.
McAllister to Cantona, to Chapman, to McAllister. No, I don't think that'll reach Batty. Cut out by Durant. Knocked by McCall, stopped nicely there by Newsom. For David Batty again. Strachan. Up to Cantona, chesting it to McAllister. A little too long on it. Trevor Stephen robbed him. Durant brings it away. Haley peels off in one direction, McCoist in the other. McPherson bounding up on that right side there. Gets there first before Dorigo. Knocks it back in again to Ian Durant. Plays it in again, a little touch there, but Dorigo gets it away. Cantona's touch now towards Lee Chapman. Chapman tried to get it back to Cantona. Stuart McCall down the line, Stephen chasing after it. Fairclough surely will get there first. In fact, claims the throw, which in fact leads to Fairclough at right back tonight. Knocked in by Chapman and fell for Ferguson. Batty getting rather stupidly involved there. Durant. Might have just come off Newsom, but doesn't go for the corner. Came off Newsom, obviously it didn't, because Leeds get the throw. Chris Fairclough with it. Batty again. McAllister. Durant. McPherson. A try too much. McAllister got it away. Found speed. Here's Eric Cantona. Tried to thread that through for Chapman. Well picked out by Brown. Durant. Up to McCoist. Stephen, Stephen again, celebrating his 29th birthday today.
It's ironic, really. He almost joined them, didn't he, Leeds, at the start of the season?
Here's Dorigo. Callister. Batty. Cantona. Trying to take the heat out of the situation for the moment, Leeds. Rangers have just pulled everybody back. Leeds quite happy just to play the ball through the midfield, and now knocking it forward towards Cantona. Might come for Batty again. A little touch here for Fairclough. And then knocked forward to Cantona, but the flag went up rather late. Free kick. Strachan had a little word with the linesman here, and the referee quickly intercepted and told him to keep his mouth shut. Stuart McCall. Forward to Stephen. McCall again. Brown. Up to McCoist. Stephen dispossessed by Batty.
Well, that's what David Batty does so well for them when he's playing in that central midfield.
And that's what McAllister does so well, a raking 40-yard pass direct to Gary Speed. And now with Dorigo, back to Speed down that left flank for Leeds United. Has he got the legs of McPherson? No, McPherson cut it out well for Rangers, but Leeds still leading by a goal to nil. What of an hour gone. Stuart McCall. Ali McCoist. And a goal kick for Leeds United. The Battle of Britain, they're calling it. Yes, he not only won the European Cup Winners' Cup medal with Everton in '85, he's also won titles in 3 countries, here in Scotland with Rangers, in England with Everton, and in France with Marseille. Widely experienced 29-year-old footballer. The most important match ever, they say, between British clubs. Well, I don't know about that, but the hype has certainly reached fever pitch, and I suppose we've all added a bit to it. But certainly, potentially, it's the most profitable match between British clubs, because the winners here, of course, go into the European League stage after this round, where they're guaranteed 6 matches, real money spinners. Strachan, for some reason, is standing motionless a good 10 yards offside. Champions League, which of course you will be able to see exclusively live on ITV. And talking about 6 games and a take that could be anything like a take of between 3 and 5 million pounds. So you see the stakes tonight really have gone into the stratosphere. And at the moment, so far so good for Leeds United, leading by a goal to nil. Just get the feeling that Rangers might just have it in them to pull one back, to pull it back, you know. On the Leeds' defensive record this season has not been as good as maybe they would have liked.
Yeah, well, you found that Leeds this season have been a little bit vulnerable to crosses. Unfortunately for Rangers, they've left Hoyster out, the Dutch bloke on the left side, who can cross a good ball. And in fact, they're playing a little bit narrow, and they're trying to play the way through with little give and goes on the edge of the penalty box.
That's how Durant found McCoist. Back to Ian Durant again. Stopped by Speed. Up to McAllister. Good play here by Leeds. Up to Cantona, still stationed on this right touchline.
You wonder whether Haitley might be happier with somebody who's hitting the dead ball line and throwing a few crosses in for him to work on.
Batty in first. Rangers were standing and watching. McAllister.
You get the impression as well, you know, Rangers are more nervous, certainly much more nervous of the game now with the with the start that McAllister's given Leeds. And Leeds look brimful of it. They're showing a lot of authority, and they're playing with loads and loads of confidence.
Dorigo. Brown gets it away. Infringement on the far side involving McCall and Dorigo, giving Leeds United the free kick. The worry about the Leeds defence, they've conceded a few goals, only 2 clean sheets this season, and only 1 in the last 12. That's the little worrying statistic, although so far here tonight in Ibrox it's gone well for them. Tony Dorigo with the free kick. Loaded high into that Rangers penalty area. The big men from the back have gone up there, including Fairclough and White. It was White who got the header in there. Andy Gorham now in possession for Rangers. Man who replaced Chris Woods here in the Rangers goal. McPherson finds McCoist, gets it to Durant. Knocked in now for McCoist. A brave piece of goalkeeping by Lukic, and a nice sporting gesture at the end of it as well. But some dangerous work there by Rangers, including Haitley. He got up well, knocked it down there to McCoist, and some good work by Lukic.
Yeah, well, that's a natural goal scorer. Good link up between the strike force of Rangers there. Clever header from Mark Haitley.
32 goals between them this season so far, Haitley and McCoist. 24 of them to Ali McCoist. Ferguson trying to get those 1-2s going on an edge of a crowded penalty area. Stephen hitting it high towards Haitley again, and Fairclough winning that in the air. But the Rangers fans behind that goal are to their feet now. It's all seater there as Rangers win this corner. Durant will take it. McPherson will be a threat here. Haitley certainly will be a threat here. Goff's at the near post as well. It's up to Lukic. Oh, and he's fisted it into his own net! The goal's been given. Completely miscued, and suddenly out of nothing, Dorigo, watching on the line, couldn't stop it going over the line. It's clearly there, but it's clearly an own goal.
Well, that's an incredible thing. It's really a bread and butter cross for Big Lukic. He's come out to claim it, to punch it clear. No question about it, whether it was in or not, but what a freak goal.
And now Leeds really could be up against it. Now it's a real test of their nerve as Strachan knocks it forward. This is where they'll look to the likes of Strachan and the experience of McAllister and of Chapman to keep the ship afloat now, because Rangers will come steaming at them. Back to Ferguson. Just listen to the noise now. McCoist tries to get it in. It came off Newsom. It's another corner. Now, just how unsettled will Leeds be by this? Durant will take it.
Just looking at Leeds as well, they've pulled everybody back, and I'm wondering whether they're all getting in each other's way there, you know. Well, we've got about 2 men in the box.
Ferguson shot well wide of the goal.
The Rangers have only got about 2 men in the box, Brian. Leeds are pulling everybody back, and they've just left Ferguson on the edge of the box, as indeed McAllister was early doors, completely unmarked.
Well, we've seen some crazy goals, but that goes down as one of the craziest.
Yeah, and he's had a funny old season, John Lukic, hasn't he? I mean, he was excellent out in Stuttgart, and yet you had to fault him with a goal there. We maybe thought that he might have done better at Leeds with the goal, and yet he made saves at times that kept them in the game. And I mean, but that is a horrendous error. You know, that's one that will live with him for his career, particularly if it's
crucial tonight.
Yeah, if the overall result goes against them. But from Leeds' point of view, they've had a good start up until then. They've got to get themselves going a little bit. Just, as you say, retain the composure.
Newsom. Haley getting it away. Here's Durant. And every time the blue shirts come forward, so the noise level rockets here in Ibrox Stadium. This time it's Ferguson. McPherson's made a break down the right. And again Ferguson. Good play here. And Leeds under a considerable threat.
Yes, I think at the moment what they've stopped doing, whether little Strachan is still a bit hampered by that injury, the knock. What they've stopped doing, they tended to try and soak up a little bit of pressure and allowed Rangers to get into their half of the field more often. Whereas early doors, what they were doing, they were supporting very, very quickly from midfield, hitting the front men, and even in that move then, Cantona was well back, he was almost with the Rigo.
Durant to Haley. What a menacing figure he looks. Fatty's chasing him. Cut out by Fairclough. John Brown, number 6 for Rangers. Oh, bad clearance. Straight to Batty. No foul. Paul got the better of him. Durant streaking away now. Haley's in there as well. It caught the heel of Newsom. Stevens shot. Played into Strachan, a delightful ball by Strachan from McAllister. He couldn't quite turn it wide enough for Cantona, picked out by Richard Goff. In goes White. Bore him out. As Cantona came towards him. And the flag up for an offside, which looked a bit dubious to me, I must say.
Well, what happened actually, Chris White stepped back after the ball had been played, and when he received it, when the coach received it, he looked well onside, didn't he? But he had come, Chris White had stepped back after the ball had been played.
Looks a very lenient referee tonight as well. He's letting a lot of things go.
That's right. I mean, there's been a fair bit of physical contact, and you thought, oh, straight away free kick, and he hasn't really given it.
He goes for it. McCoist waits to pick up any pieces that might just drop juicily for him. It's a good combination, Haley and McCoist.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. McCoist quick, cheeky, lively, anticipator. Haley supreme in the air, aggressive and tidy on the deck, and a good knowledge now with his experience of what some plays about.
Eric Cantona to Gordon Strachan. Up to Chris Fairclough for Leeds, to David Batty. Fairclough. Back for Robertson. And a throw to Leeds. 1-1 the score then. 26 minutes coming up to 27. McAllister in the first minute from a corner by Strachan. And then from another corner, fisted into his own goal by John Lukic. Batty. Stephen. Away goes McCall. But Newsom got there before McCoist. And the flag is up for an offside against Eric Cantona. Stephen, back to Stephen again from Haley.
It's incredible when there's a forward movement from either midfield team. You know, nobody actually. You see both sets of midfield players seem slack at picking up runners.
Here's Durant. Oh, we got it through to Haley. Through to Durant again. Little Strachan just stopped in the corner given. Rangers fans were hoping for a little more than that, but that was no hope at all. As you can see, the rain is still coming down. A glistening top here at Ibrox.
Here's the first class example highlighting what I'm saying here, Brian. Look, he's nicked it in, he's followed it, everybody's let him go. Strachan's just seen the danger at the very last minute. But that's happening both ways. Midfield players are letting the opposite midfield players run.
Corner is in, knocked away by McAllister. Brown playing it in again, and Lukic down bravely that time. Now whether McPherson caught him, the flag is up on the far side. Thank you, Ron. McPherson just offside there. You can't really see it from that angle, but the linesman had his flag up by then. Again, a brave piece of keeping by Lukic.
Excellent. But I mean, you'd have to say only just if offside, wouldn't you?
Chapman complaining, he took a shove in the back from Durant. Newsom to Batty. White to Batty. Rain coming down a good deal heavier now. Dorigo. Just wonder if the ball was a bit greasy, and that was partly the reason for Lukic's miscue, Ron.
It could well have been. It could well have been, because he just seemed to hit just under the ball, didn't it? And glanced it. As you say, it may very well be just greasy top on the ball, maybe. But really, at the end of the day, no. I mean, we could have said somebody scratched the side of the ball and made it swing or something like that. But no,
Goff gets it away.
It's a blob.
McCoist. Phenomenal goal-scoring record, McCoist. 12 in the last 7 games for Rangers. Here he is again on the ball, knocking it wide. Goff. Back to Robertson. Trapped by Strachan. Strachan now chasing Durant, still chasing Durant, and does well, extremely well there, Strachan. Now can he find a pass to finish it off, or a shot maybe? It's a little chip, but it's not going to clear Gorham. Gorham's long clearance, knocked there down by Chris White, met by David Batty. Here's Fairclough, up the line now to McAllister. Strachan. Eric Cantona.
Certainly got more of an appearance of a one-off competition and one-off match, as opposed to a two-leg thing where Leeds, being the away side, would possibly sit on the game and wait for it there. It's very, very much an end-to-end game at the moment.
Batty. Chris White on the far side there. Knocking it in to Gary Speed. Leeds corner. Strachan getting across there to take it. When he comes to Glasgow to play for Scotland, he's a hero. He's getting some fair old abuse from the Rangers fans behind that goal now.
He can't win because he tells me whenever he's at Celtic they do the same thing with him as well.
Knocked in by Newsom, no! Knocked off the line. I think it was Ian Durant who cleared it away, but Leeds weren't far from number 2 there for Newsom's header. Batty. Ooh, look at the space here for Strachan. Cantona getting it back to Strachan, played in again for Strachan. The offside flag is up, and what would have been an absolutely super goal is ruled out.
That would have been one of the old times, wouldn't it? That 15 give and goes, beautiful skill, and he'll feel he wasn't offside. He'll feel he wasn't offside.
Let's have a look at the one that was cleared off the line, though. I think it's Newsom, the number 2, finally gets the header in there, cleared away by Ian Durant. Newsom. Knocked back by Brown, cleared by Gorham. Flagging for an offside against the Rangers. Just past the half-hour mark. 1-1 the score. White planting it forward towards Lee Chapman. Chapman getting the header in. McPherson stooping really low. And in the end, McAllister, but they're looking quick-witted in that those sort of areas are Leeds United, and you feel that something might be offered them yet. Let's have a look again at the goal that was ruled out. Strachan was adjudged offside. He might just have been, actually. Failed touch and go, he might just have been one.
Much as we'd like to say he wasn't he?
That came off Lee Chapman, so it'll be a Rangers throw.
What's happening as well, with the surface being that wet surface and nice and flat, players like Strachan, like McAllister, like Durant and people like that can just nick it off as defenders are diving in at them. I think defenders, particularly midfield defenders or defensive midfield players, have got to stand up a little bit more and not dive in so much. Maybe with a little bit of patience and just hold their position a little bit. When they dive in against players of their ability, it's just a little nick off and a 1-2 against them and they're dead.
David McPherson. Goff, look at the run he's made from the defensive areas. Chris White's gone across. Garrigo's in there too. And Leeds get it away. Cantona. Up to Chapman. Brown. Safely back to Gorham. Oh! And badly played by Gorham to Strachan. Gets it to Chapman. Can little Strachan get to it again? Well, that was a wonderful bit of play by Strachan. But nothing to show for it at the end. Ian Durant. Towards Haitley. Well, there was an accidental trip there. Haitley got caught up in Fairclough's legs. The referee's given the free kick for Rangers. Paul standing over it, decides to play it short to Ferguson. And Lukic down. Without great conviction, I must say.
Yeah, but obviously the thing will have unsettled him, the goal will have unsettled him, plus the fact anything skidding through at you on a surface like today, you know, he could easily have cannon back off him for any forward, McCoist or anyone rushing on.
Less than 10 minutes to go now in the first half. 1-1 the score here at Ibrox. Strachan finds Trevor Stephen. Up to McCoist. Now McPherson. The blue of Rangers surging forward again. Stephen. McCall. Speed's gone with him. Goff. Ferguson. Robertson. Oh! Well, that was a super save. That's more like the genuine John Lukic. And it needed to be. David Robertson really caught that a hummer.
Well, he should have been warned because a few minutes earlier, about 10 minutes earlier, he got into a similar situation and fired one past the post. And that is a hell of a shot. And a very, very good take from the keeper.
Here's the corner. Newsom's in there, and a corner being given. Rangers fans were howling that one of the Leeds defenders, John Newsom I think it was holding back one of the Rangers attackers. Stephen with the corner again. And McCoist! Rangers get the lead. Lukic had saved the first header from the corner, but could only palm it down. McPherson with a good header, parried there by the goalkeeper, but McCoist finishing it off, and one of the Rangers players down injured.
It's McPherson, I think, Brian, but if you look here, they've only really got one player in the box when they take the corner. They've only got McCoist in there. McPherson's coming on a big challenge, and I must say he climbed above about 6 Leeds players. Howard Wilkinson will be furious with that. They had so many defenders back there, and nobody's not only done anything with the corner, nobody's even reacted to the second ball. I mean, McCoist, all credit to McCoist. That's how he scores his goals. He's quick, he's bright, he's alive.
And that's his 25th, believe it or not, this season.
But that is an absolute tragic goal. Well, the 2 goals from both from corners, both from crosses, and that's been a problem area for Leeds this season. And you don't really know why, because look at the number of big guys they've got defending.
Well, now it's going to be a real battle for Leeds. A game that started so brightly, so brilliantly with that opening goal by McAllister in the opening minute of the game. Now Rangers have shown their true strength and have come back forcefully to take a 2-1 lead. And with this big crowd behind them. Side against Cantona.
The strange thing was, just prior to that, you felt Leeds were back in a good spell again, didn't you? They seemed to have recovered themselves mentally and were just starting to run the game again.
McCoist in for Haitley, stopped by Newsom. Here's Ferguson. McPherson. Stephen. Crossed in again to Ali McCoist. And behind for the goal kick.
Now this is where you wonder, when we think back to Stuttgart, when they went behind, all of a sudden they lost all their shape and discipline. Now, obviously, it's a disappointment for them. But from a Leeds point of view now, they've got to dig a few trenches, draw on the mental resolve and say, hang on, all right, we're 2-1 down, there's a hell of a way to go yet. Let's not let the game go further away from us by charging.
That's right, and if it's 2-1 down at the end of 90 minutes, that is not a disaster.
I would have said 2-1 down to Leeds at the end of the game, but I don't think it will be. I must say that's the score I forecast in the street, but I've got a feeling there's a lot more goals in this. That probably makes certain it's going to be a 2-1 result.
Well, Lukic with the clearance for Leeds. Coming to the last 5 minutes of the first half. Off goes Chapman. McPherson gets it away. Good clearance by Dorigo. Very speedy. And also bearing in mind they've already scored an important away goal, and that can be crucial at the end of both games. Here's Fairclough. Towards Chapman, knocks it down for Cantona, but he's offside. Leeds now need to see Chapman and Cantona firing on the same sort of cylinders that McCoist and Haitley are.
Yes, at the moment, the big fella there, big Lee Chapman, hasn't really been able to get into the game. That was a well-directed header, but I think Howard Wilkinson would possibly be looking for him to maybe hold the ball up a little bit more for the team.
Good jump by Fairclough. In goes Robertson. They are waiting and wondering, and McCoist is acting, but feet were high there. A free kick to Leeds. There was again a moment of hesitation there in that Leeds defence.
Very much so. I mean, they were trying to play offside, and Tony Dorigo was well in advance on Chris White. I fancy Tony Dorigo should have been tucking round a little bit more to give Chris White some insurance.
Got a play from Newsom. They throw the Rangers. David Robertson with the throw for Rangers. Oh, Fairclough got in McAllister's way. Durant curled one just over the crossbar. Total misunderstanding there by two Leeds players on the edge of their own penalty area, allowing Durant time to measure up a curling shot.
I must confess, when he shaped up after the two defenders had made a mess of it, I thought Durant here had just done enough to bend it round Lukic.
Off. Fairclough for Leeds. McCall for Rangers. Here's Durant. Newsom bought a little bit of time. Durant playing it in again. This time easy for Lukic.
I think what happens a little bit with Leeds as well, you know, when they get anxious, they tend to push out very, very quickly from the back without really too much consideration to where the ball is. Let's see, Strachan makes something of this.
To Strachan. Crossed in by Strachan. McAllister. Played in to Cantona. McCall. Stephen to Durant. And the run by Robertson. Not picked up, and the cross comes in. No, it didn't go out of play.
Yes, that started to look a bit ominous. At the start, David Robertson looked as if he was very much aware of the threat of Strachan, but in the closing moments of this half, he started to search forward and looks a threat when he's coming forward.
It's very much a part of his game, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, and that's the first time they've really hit the dead ball line to produce a cross.
Haley winning it in the air. Dorigo chesting it down. Here's speed through that crowded midfield area. Stopped by Stuart McCall. Durant. And McCall now. With another chance coming up for Rangers, but he's fired it wide, and the chances are coming up for Rangers more and more, which is ominous for Leeds. No doubt about it, once Rangers had pulled themselves round from that blow in the first minute, they have looked consistently the more dangerous of these two sides.
It's what they've got as well. They've got a little bit of zip in midfield, or not only in midfield, in the front positions with McCoist, and sometimes maybe big John Newsom, maybe big Chris White may have a little bit of problems with on the greasy top.
Offside surely against McCoist, it is. Goff won a powerful header in the midfield there. And Leeds will just going to hang on now for this half-time whistle to sort a few things out with Howard Wilkinson in that dressing room at half-time. Strachan's trying to sort a few things out now. He's told Chris Fairclough to go a little bit deeper. Robertson again. Durant, who's had an excellent first half for Rangers. McCall playing it around with great skill and confidence now, Rangers. Durant putting it wide for McPherson. They're sprinting through the middle. Goff has made a terrific brace and falls to the ground. Stephen chips it in there. Goff tried to get to his feet in time. McPherson with a shot and cleared off the line, I think possibly by Gary Speed. And Leeds so close to conceding goal number 3. Instead it's Cantona. Losing out to Robertson. Here's McPherson. A late thrust now by Rangers in the dying seconds of the first half, which now comes to an end. An excellent first half, full of drama and excitement and good football as well, with McAllister putting Leeds ahead in the first minute of the game with a super goal, and then the own goal from John Lukic, and then one from that ace goal snatcher Ali McCoist, turning the game round in favour of Rangers at half-time. That's the story at Ibrox at half-time in this European Cup tie. Rangers 2, Leeds United again, Ian. Yes, interesting little game being played in the tunnel there. I certainly got the impression that, as I understand it, Rangers were slow coming out. We've had nearly a 20-minute half-time now. Now, when you saw the Leeds players going back, I understand that Howard Wilkinson was calling them back into the dressing room again. In other words, they're not going to hang around just waiting for Rangers. So a little bit of kidology going out the tunnel as they come out now for the start of this second half, with Rangers leading by 2 goals to 1. No changes at half-time, the same 22 players on the field. Rangers will get the second half underway. Wide to Haley. Little touch up now for Stephen. Dave McPherson. Wide towards Haley again. Chris White got a header in there, but Durant in a yard or two, and McCoist is out there, and again Lukic was out quickly enough, didn't grab hold of the ball, was grateful to get support from, of course, Gordon Strachan, who else? Long by Lukic, again by Durant. Offside against Haley. Message from down below. The referee apparently didn't ring the bell at half-time to summon the players out of their dressing room. So a total lack of communication all the way round. And maybe in these terrible conditions here of still driving rain, the players were quite happy to get another 2 or 3 minutes in the warmth of the dressing room. But here's Dorigo now. Strachan bustling for it on the far side there, along with Ian Durant. Batty. Strachan. Going towards Chapman. Miscue there by McAllister, falling straight to Haitley. Newsom in quickly for Leeds. For Stephen, Haitley arriving late. Do you discern any changes tactically in this the start of this second half, Ron?
Not really. It looks as if Stuart McCall may be playing a little bit more inside now, perhaps to allow more like anchoring the midfield, to allow maybe Durant to just keep constantly supporting the front two, but not over much. I think Leeds have got to try and come off this left side a little bit more with these two, Speed and Dorigo.
Good run by Batty there. Speed, now Dorigo. And for David Batty again, might line up a good shot, but it's cannoned off a Rangers defender. And might well go into touch. Leeds United strike.
You see, I bet David McPherson can't believe how much room and how little pressure he's had applied on him. I mean, if you look at Leeds and look at the pace and strength of Dorigo and Speed, you expect a little bit of a tousing on this side of the field, and that actually hasn't come. As I say, the threat from midfield has mainly come from McAllister and the Strack's support play.
All really lively off this pitch now. Lukic out quickly, leave it to me, says to White, as White paying a direct hit on a policeman, which, needless to say, pleased the crowd. Ferguson, poor ball, straight to Cantona. Batty picks it up. McAllister flicks it wide for Strachan. McPherson's ball, guided down with his head to Gorham.
Watching Archie Knox on the bench there, on the Rangers bench, signalling when the long ball's going up onto Haitley. He was signalling out to Durant there. He wants him to run past, just keep running beyond the Leeds defence.
This is Brown, the defender. Robertson, McCall. Oh, that looked to be potentially a very dangerous ball, but an excellent header by Fairclough. And good work by McAllister, setting Dorigo in now for Leeds United. Going around McPherson, the cross comes in. Well, everybody waited for a moment there. I thought the whistle must have gone, but it hadn't. He just froze for just a moment then. Dorigo. And again, Chapman trying to knock it on. Cantona trying to get in there, lost the ball, as did Brown.
But that's what he should be doing more. Tony Dorigo, with his pace and ability, he should be trying to. I don't think McPherson's the quickest defender in the world, whenever I've seen him play, when he was particularly at Hearts. But people going at him on the run will give him problems. I think both, as I say, the two left-sided Leeds boys have got to do that.
Goff for Rangers. Strachan. Hit long again towards Lee Chapman. Goff. Chris White winning it above Ali McCoist. Dorigo again. Good ball played in there to Eric Cantona. Chapman alongside him. Cantona certainly taken out of the game there by Ferguson and Goff. Durant. Stephen. Durant again. Ball. And White's header away for Leeds. Up to McAllister, knocked down for Batty. Played for Strachan. McAllister made the run forward then. Goff's header going straight to Chapman, but the whistle had gone for a foul by Goff. Free kick to Leeds. McAllister spraying it this wide. Speed. Dorigo's cross. Brown's header for Rangers. Not a bad spell this for Leeds though. McAllister, the little touch for Batty. Home leg still to come at Ellen Road, of course. Strachan plays it in. And no doubt the Leeds crowd will be in training, as the Rangers crowd have been for the last week or two. Be the extra man for their team. Offside against Durant. Rangers fans are furious, but a perfectly correct decision.
Yes, but that's a danger area there. I think Batty wants to keep a little bit of a weather eye opener. He's the deep midfield player for Leeds, and when Durant's taking those runs, I think he's going to anchor a little bit more Batty and look out for him.
McAllister to speed. Don't think Dorigo will get there. Richard Goff. 5 years ago this month when Richard Goff left Tottenham to come here. Batting with the throw for Leeds. Long throw by Batty up towards Chapman. To be taken again because the whistle had gone. Batty, presumably time wasting or foul throw?
I think so. I would have been interested to see. Oh, he's going to book somebody. Somebody's giving him some left.
If it's Batty, he's in trouble. He's already had a yellow card from a previous game.
I think it's Gary Speed.
Is it Gary Speed? Well, yeah. He's also in trouble if he gets a yellow card, because he's had a yellow card from a previous game, and if they collect a second one, of course, they miss the second leg.
I think what he was having a little pop at there, you know, Gary Speed. The referee actually he made up his mind he was going to give the throw in for time wasting. But as the ball was actually thrown, the referee wasn't looking. There was a suggestion that Chapman might have been fouled in the penalty area. I think that's what Speed's having a go at.
McCoist. Battling with Newsom. And the referee's given a free kick to Leeds. One other thing we noticed actually, Ron, as the players came off at the end of the first half, Lukic stayed on the pitch for a good, 30 seconds or so, discussing something with the referee and linesman.
Yeah,
whether he felt that he was fouled when that own goal went in, or...
No, I don't honestly and truthfully. In fact, actually, he looked more impeded by his own players there, you know.
But he was clearly having a discussion.
He was very much so. I wondered, was the incident when he... was it McPherson he got involved with, who had maybe a late lunge at him, but I mean, I would have thought he'd have been more concerned with trying to put the record straight goalkeeping-wise. But he certainly was out there a long time with...
Well, here's Strachan. Crossed in and just wouldn't fall for a Leeds player, but it falls for Dorigo, who's got speed wide if he cares to find him, and he looked for Chapman, couldn't find him. And there was a very good ball on to Gary Speed wide on this near touchline.
Yes, I mean, I think that is Leeds at their best when they're in the top half of the field and they spread it wide in the last third and then put quality crosses in. And as you say there, Gary Speed was a little bit hurried trying to get the ball forward too early.
Here comes Durant for Rangers. Got McCall outside him, but stopped very well indeed again by Chris Fairclough.
Oh, it was fingertips or toe tips though, wasn't it? Because McCall had made a terrific overlap run.
Strachan, that has made a break for him. Cantona, Strachan. Into Strachan again. This wouldn't run for him though.
I think that's what made it such a good game, is the very fact that the better players are playing well. I mean, the defenders, defensive-wise, aren't playing over well, are they? But the midfield players on both sides are playing excellent.
Durant, stopped by Newsom. Batty. Playing it wide for Dorigo, and away he goes. Tries to get past Stephen. In the end, he succeeds. Does he get past Ferguson? He does. Good run here by Tony Dorigo. His shooting is usually a lot better than that.
Yes, but that's the time when maybe a little bit of common sense or a little bit of patience, or say steady on a little bit, put a pass in. I mean, he got McAllister going ahead of him, Cantona pulling away to the far post. I mean, there's no real need for Leeds to get anxious about this. They're in a decent position. They've got an away goal and they're well capable of pulling a one-goal deficit back.
Strachan. Meeting Fairclough in. Fairclough was a little back on his heels there, but he still found Lee Chapman. Now McAllister, who's got Dorigo willing on the left-hand side. He's got Batty here alongside him now. Batty trying to get the ball inside the full-back for Fairclough, but Robertson got across there and got it away. A throw to Leeds, who looked really quite composed in the first 10 minutes of the second half, Ron.
Yes, you know, they'd weathered the storm just before half-time, and okay, they probably said, all right, let's just keep steady. That may, as I say, be down to the thing in Stuttgart for them, when they may have learned from that. I think that's a very good ball from David
McAllister wide, goal kick to Rangers.
Bit of a risky ball from McPherson then, wasn't it? Back into the pack. But now the only thing you wonder about them, they've got so many good players in midfield, and Dorigo when he rates forward.
Archie Knox there, and in the blazer, the Rangers manager, Walter Smith.
They are very suspect on the counter, I was thinking, particularly with a team that run as fast from midfield as Rangers are doing. I mean, after the first 10 minutes of the game started, their support play has been tremendous from midfield.
A ball. Look at Strachan. What a game he's playing again tonight. He's everywhere, and his example should be worth an awful lot to everybody in a yellow shirt here tonight. Here's Batty. And to McAllister. McAllister on the deck still tried to get the ball through to Lee Chapman, couldn't quite make it. It's up to McCoist now, being hustled there by Newsom. Durant for Rangers. Rangers still leading 2-1. A foul there by Strachan, a free kick to Rangers. What a wonderful stadium this is, with a capacity of 44,000. It's a really vibrant mix of the old traditional. They've still got the panelling in the entrance hall, but everything else is modern commercialism with 51 private boxes, 4 suites. And they will serve something over 1,000 executive meals here tonight. It's real big business here. Speed getting the ball through. Strachan, a little knockdown from Cantona. Stopped by Ferguson. And now Durant. A wonderful backdrop for a really first-class game of football in the European Cup. Nodded back by Chris White. I wondered just for a moment if it had got enough purchase on it to get away from Haitley, but it had. Skidding on the surface. McPherson beating speed in the air, knocked there by McCall. Used to support Leeds as a youngster. Here he is again, the number 2, born in Yorkshire. Now there by Fairclough on Durant.
You always think players run the risk. Okay, the referee's pulled into the foul, but when they turn away and blatantly ignore the referee, I think they run the more risk of getting booked for that.
Durant's ball now for Robertson. The cross comes in, and speed in the end shovels it behind when both Haitley, McCoist and McPherson also were in there looking for that final touch and weren't so far away from it.
That's a superb ball. Takes a slight deflection. Both strikers going in it, meaning business, but it was all at the end of a magnificent ball from Durant. Durant's through ball into Robinson was superb.
Now, corners have been a problem all night. Here's Trevor Stephen with another one for Rangers. That wasn't a good. Dorigo hooks it away. Rangers get a throw.
And I've got a theory, when you stick everybody back in the middle of the box there and they don't put players in there, your defenders are getting in each other's way.
Substitutes getting in the way of McPherson there as he tried to take that throw. It's with Trevor Stephen. Knocked in again to McCoy, chested down by him. Ferguson, a real clumsy stab at that one.
some magnificent link-up play there between Trevor Stephen and Ali McCoist, though. Great little spotter's badge from Trevor Stephen, the through ball, the little threaded ball into McCoist, and some, magical chest control.
And an enthralling game, really, because Leeds had their little spell there, and now suddenly you feel the tide's turning again. And that was a great ball back by McCoist. And you feel now that Rangers are going to have their compelling spell. Good jump there by Brown. In comes Haitley, but McAllister gets it away, not very far. It's McPherson now for Rangers, leading by 2-1 here against Leeds in the European Cup. Stephen. The little ball in for Durand, who's been absolutely superb tonight. The little ball this time for Goff. Up forward to McCoist. Tried to turn White, but couldn't fool Chris White. Gary Speed to Tony Dorigo. Hit with some power then towards Cantona. Goff gets it forward. White goes it almost casually wide there to Dorigo. Slips it along the line here now for Speed. Now Cantona making a break. Brown playing them onside. Chapman's waiting in the middle of the near post. There was a chance there. That's the best bit of combination between Cantona and Chapman we've had all night.
Cantona runs off the back of Goff here. Goff was ball watching, and then he did what he did. I think he was playing for France, where he measured a lovely little ball in. Unfortunately, Chapman's wrong side of the post. But it just shows there are still goals in it for Leeds.
White beaten in the air by Haitley. Stephen getting in there too. Dorigo, claiming handball. No whistle from the Belgian referee. Stephen now with Haitley waiting in the middle there. So too was Chris White for Leeds. Gary Speed with a little touch and a bad one. McPherson, Speed trying to rectify that mistake. Dorigo goes in. It comes to Goff. Batty goes in. Not once but twice, but again Rangers come away with it. The flag goes up for an offside. Play on, says the referee. Chris White happy to do that.
Yeah, they do take chances with that offside trap, Leeds. They played sometimes, you think, a little bit recklessly.
Chapman knocking it down. Cantona, the ball was spinning. Cantona thinking it was going out of play, I think, for a moment. McAllister made a great break through the middle. It's Fairclough on the far side for Leeds. Cross coming in, Speed hoping to meet it, just as he did at Ellen Road against Stuttgart. Fabulous goal of his that night. John Newsom. Too high for Chapman. Vaughan throws it out quickly to Trevor Stephen. Here come Rangers again. Coming towards the 20-minute mark of the second half. McCall. Robertson, the fullback, dangerous on those breaks. Stopped that time by Strachan, who's posted a little deeper on that flank to try and hold him up. But here come Rangers once again. Played in there for McCoist, and that time easy for Lukic. At least he made it look easy.
Yeah, I think Ali McCoist would have preferred a faster ball in from Durant here. Good run around the back here from Durant. And it's a little bit of a ploppy ball there, really, for McCoist.
Rangers again in possession with Trevor Stephen, an offside flag up against possibly Haitley on this side, possibly McCoist. Free kick at any rate to Leeds.
I think what makes the game so good at the moment is just when you think, Leeds are getting on top of the thing, they're controlling it, they look as if they've got a goal in the offing, all of a sudden Rangers take control of it. It's been like that virtually all through, hasn't it? I think actually we may, sometimes commentators think Brian can be guilty of overplaying a match. I think here we've possibly understated it, because I think it's been a tremendous game.
Strachan. Brown gets it away. Rangers getting it forward. Here's McCall. McCoist and Haitley up alongside him is Ali McCoist. Strachan coming in, doing well to hold it up. Batty knocks it back casually to Lukic. McCall, Ferguson, Haitley, Newsom away, Goff. Just look how crowded it is there. McAllister finds Strachan.
Yes, I think it's better to see Strachan operating here. In this half, he's played it right back for a fair part of it.
Batty getting it wide for Gary Speed. Dorigo's gone outside him, but he plays it towards the far post, but Chapman and Cantona have no chance there. Well, Strachan's contribution in this second half, whether at right back or whether a little further forward, has been monumental again, hasn't it?
Oh, very much so. First-class example. Has done the ugly bits of football. That's working hard, you know, and he's a creative player. And he, as I say, he's still prepared to put in his lot in the team cause. But I think I'd like if Leeds are to get back to try and winning the game, I'd like to see him just that little bit, that other 20 yards up the field, where he can perhaps link up with the strikers.
Foul on Chapman that time by McPherson, a free kick to Leeds. Coming close to the halfway mark in this second half, and Leeds won't be too discouraged by what's happened so far in this second half. Wouldn't be too discouraged to going away from here with a 2-1 deficit, with a view to putting it right in spectacular fashion in the second leg. Strachan, Speed tried to get the header in, and Cantona trying a real extravagant overhead.
And in all fairness, you would not have bet money against him scoring with that. When you said before the game, you know, Brian, you've been a little bit disappointed with the European thing. I haven't actually, until tonight. I don't think he's made the contribution tonight that he's made, certainly in the Stuttgart game against Elland Road. I thought he was superb there. But I wonder whether Lee Chapman has found European football as much to his liking as possibly he would have done.
Though he had a good match against Stuttgart at Elland Road, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Lee's always better when there's a lot of penalty area action, isn't there? And he applies power and his heading abilities. Sometimes when it's necessary to have a front player to come off and maybe link up, which you often get in European matches.
That's an amazing goal-scoring record. 72 in 135 league games.
Yep.
And cup games for Leeds. Dorigo, Matty. Trying to make things happen through that midfield for Leeds. Finding Dorigo. A little flick on towards Eric Cantona. What a play. Throw to Leeds. Matty. Preventing it getting through to Cantona. A little bumping and boring there between McCall and McAllister. It goes the way of Rangers. Rangers warming up Peter Hoostra, the Dutch winger. This with Durant. Wide for Robertson. Painter's in the middle, McCoist's in the middle, Dorigo is in the middle. Ferguson now. McCall. Fairclough got that away. Goff. Brown. This should be Strachan's ball. Certainly Leeds United's ball, their throw. It came off David Robertson, and messages flying assistant manager Archie Knox, presumably to Walter Smith, who maybe has gone back up to the stand. Robertson's header. Dorigo away. Will come to Chapman. And McCall is there, but McCall puts it to Gary Speed. And McPherson got in very quickly there. Hately. Batty. Chip forward there by McAllister. Chapman couldn't quite take it. McPherson has played it wide. It needed some real good skill on the ground there from Andy Gorham. And Rangers confidently get it away. Up to McCoist. And now to Hately. Knocked back this time by White. Lukic.
It looks like Hustra's getting stripped to come on, which is going to be very popular with the crowd. The only thing is, looking at the way Rangers are playing, you know, they played so well. Cantona looks as if he wants to come off as well, actually. They've played so well in midfield, the shape has been good, and the way they've played's allowed Durant to go here, there and everywhere, and it's been a constant threat. I just wonder whether putting an orthodox winger on might give them a, you know, might affect their shape a little bit.
Well, Cantona's got a problem.
He's holding his head or something.
He's taken a bang on the head, but let's see what's happening here now, because he's coming through to Hateley. But Leeds just get it away to Dorigo, played inside for Gary McAllister. He's obviously taken a bang on the head, the big Frenchman. Notice there was an interpreter there as well.
There's little Wallace
getting little Rob Wallace warmed up.
Yeah.
Well, that may not be a bad thing. I mean, Wallace, quick on this sort of surface, might well turn out to be his night. In the meantime, John Brown for Rangers to Richard Goff. Rangers still leading by 2 goals to 1, with about 18 minutes of the game left. Up forward towards McCoist, one comfortably in the air by Newsom, but here's Trevor Stephen. Robertson. Fairclough came towards him. McCoist tried to play the full-back back in again. And look at Stuart McCall getting back and doing the full-back's job.
Just looking at the Leeds' defensive situation at the moment, I'm just wondering whether that's a tactical thing. It looks very much as if Fairclough is almost pulled in as a third centre-back. They're not playing with a sweep or anything, but he seems to be playing a lot closer to Newsom, which in effect means Strachan has got to flatten out and become a right full-back. And I think that's a problem for Leeds, because the last thing you want is Strachan constantly playing just alongside his own back four.
But if it consolidates the situation a little bit, Ron, over a two-legged tie, it's maybe not a bad thing to be...
I could see that, Bram, but what I was thinking is it allows Robertson and Durant to come at Strachan. With all the will in the world to the little fella, he's not the greatest fullback the world's ever seen.
Well, here's Trevor Stephen coming forward for Rangers. Up to Mark Hateley. Cutting inside Chris White. Still with Hateley. Left foot shot charged down by Batty. I think it's Trevor Stephen coming off for Rangers to allow Hustra on. Here's Strachan advancing forward now. Looking for a good cross in. Didn't quite find it. Didn't find Chapman at any rate. But Leeds get a throw.
I'll tell you what, I know he's had problems, hasn't he, Trevor Stevens, injury-wise. That'll be some relief for Tony Dorigo, because Stevens has been playing in a super little position. He's been playing either as a right...
Now McAllister. Goal kick.
But unfortunate there, wasn't he, Gary McAllister? I mean, not so much a penalty or a corner or whatever, but just he nearly linked up with the Chapman.
Ball just needed a fall for him there, didn't it? So
he's played.
Peter Hustra's coming on. Stevens played well.
And he's occupied, as I say, that little position. I think if somebody comes and plays orthodox against Tony Dorigo, Dorigo will be far happier.
The Dutch international, he's played 7 times for his country. Peter Hustra comes on down that left flank. He'll attack Strachan or Fairclough, whoever happens to be in that right back position. He's got pace and he's an excellent crosser of a ball. Fairclough quickly out there to confront him. Plays the ball inside now for Robertson. This could be a problem for Leeds. Played in for McCoist.
Well, that should have been a goal, should have been for Alan McCoist. He's done everything right. The left-sided breaks on. Here's Robertson hitting the dead ball. Watch how McCoist pulls away off the line of defenders now to give himself space. It doesn't stay over it. But with Hustra, I can't possibly see the Fairclough can play so narrow now. He's got to go out and get more, got to get tighter, I would have guessed.
Newsom just got a touch to that one. Lancing it sideways here for Dorigo. Here's speed. Played forward again towards Cantona. Durant doing some great work and winning a free kick.
He's had a marvellous game, hasn't he, Durant?
Terrific.
Marvellous game.
Now McCall into Hateley, and Newsom stabbing it away for Leeds again. We're inside the last quarter of an hour now, with Rangers still leading by 2-1.
Durant's now come out. Looks like he's going to be a permanent fixture on this side of the field now.
McPherson stopped by McAllister, supported there by Lee Chapman. Cantona now to McAllister. Fairclough away on that right-hand side. Dorigo. Cantona slipped, Brown didn't. McCall has got through a tremendous amount of work through that midfield as well. Newsom looks back. Will be cleared by Lukic to safety. Good jump by Cantona. McPherson though to Durant. Newsom. Oh. Foul there on the post by Newsom, who lost his touch for a moment, almost regained it. And a free kick for Rangers. It's far enough out, really, not to cause too many problems, I would imagine, for Leeds United.
John Newsom will feel hard done by that as well.
Sorry?
John Newsom will feel hard done by that. He certainly appeared to get a good touch on the ball.
Well, David Robertson's up behind this one.
Greasy surface in O'Brien. It's worth him having a dip from there.
It's Ferguson instead. It's gone back. And Leeds now taking off Eric Cantona. He obviously got a bit of a bang on the head a few minutes ago. This is in Barcelona, where he was substituted, that time by Carl Schutt, of course, and it turned out to be a winning move. Now it's Rod Wallace, who's missed the last 9 games with injury, played a reserve game earlier this week. It's quick, it's dangerous. This could just be his sort of surface, and just could be his sort of occasion.
Yes, I wonder whether Howard will bring him on and ask him to play a little bit wide towards the left-hand side, maybe to try and keep McPherson back a little bit.
Cantona's gone straight up the tunnel to the dressing room. Wallace, his first touch wasn't such a good one, gave it to Durant. That's a dangerous man to give it to. McPherson playing it forward. Chris White with a header that only falls for Hateley. Batty in there, battling away. In a way, Ron, half-time probably came at the wrong time for Rangers. They were having such a good spell, and they haven't quite as yet, and I hope I'm not tempting Providence so far as Leeds are concerned, they haven't looked quite the force in this second half, looked dangerous force, that they were in the last quarter of an hour, 20 minutes of the first half. But
no, most of the threats have come from this side of the field, from the left-hand side, but it's been mainly through the left-back Robertson and Durant.
Ferguson into Durant, to Goff, pushing men forward now, McCall. Important that Leeds hold on. Huster with the cross, Newsom with the header, hasn't got very much ground on it, and in fact it goes for the corner. Chapman comes back to support the defence. Everybody from Leeds again back in that penalty area. McPherson got such a valuable header in that led to the second Rangers goal. He's in there, the number 5. Still not away. Oh, and Speed leapt but didn't actually make a contact. McCall.
It's what they've managed to do a little bit better, not better, but what they've managed to do in the second half, Leeds. They've managed to just break the game up a little bit, haven't they? They've kept the crowd quiet a little bit, and the crowd was so wound up at half-time. They were electric, they were dying to cheer the Rangers through. They've managed to stop the flow a little bit.
10 minutes left.
Whether, as I say, whether that's something they've learned from that first game in Stuttgart. You know, to lose by the odd goal isn't a disaster.
Pulling back again now as Rangers come forward. Ferguson looking for Hustra on the far side. Atty. Strachan to Chapman.
Rod Wallace is right out on the left wing. He certainly said there, all right, it's going to be Chapman up the middle supported by Speed, and Wallace holding a wide flank position.
Strachan right in there, and Fairclough in fact has got close to Hustra on the far side. It's no longer Strachan's responsibility at that right back position.
Yes, I think if they're a bit frightened of the two centre-backs now, they can bring Dorigo in as the cover player now and push Fairclough onto the orthodox winger. That probably makes more sense, particularly if, as I say, Wallace is going to occupy the left wing. That, to a certain extent, should stop or should help prevent McPherson surging through.
But it's important Leeds don't chase the game, isn't it? I mean, if a chance comes up, by all means take it. But,
yeah, still they probably had the best chance of the half, haven't they? Chapman won off chance on his pass.
Free kick to Leeds. Such a vital last 10 minutes this. At 2-1, you'd fancy Leeds maybe to turn that over in the second leg. Pulsating match that promises to be. Speed to McAllister, into Strachan. They're looking for that second goal. Don't find it with that sort of cross. Goff getting there before Chapman. Came off Chris White, didn't know an awful lot about it, and in fact gave a little shove in the back on Hakely. Offside against McCoist, he was just a little too quick. The linesman was dead right. At 7.5 minutes. White to Dorigo. Hit long towards Wallace, almost the first touch he's had. There's his cross, and quite a good one too. Robertson getting it away under some pressure there. Speed coming across. Hustra. McCoist. Volumes turned up every time McCoist touches the ball, but now it's with Ferguson. Durant's gone away to the left. Here's Hakely. Shot charge down. White not really getting it away. Wallace struggling to do likewise. There's a foul by Hakely on Rod Wallace. A free kick to Leeds.
Can't believe that that's twice that's happened from the Leeds defensive point of view. And Hakely's picked it up on the right-hand side. I mean, he does look his left foot, doesn't he? And both times the Leeds defence have pushed him inside and invited him to have a dip with his left foot.
Speed inside Durant, but he's got a bit of pace as well.
But I'm sure Howard Wilkinson won't mind Durant playing behind his own right back area at this stage of the game. And sometimes, I mean, Strack can push up a little bit. The only players that need to hold from the midfield are really Speed to a certain extent and Batty. You know, I'd like to see Batty a little bit more deeper as the anchor man and let Strack push on and McAllister push on.
Coming to the last 5 minutes. Batty with the header, Batty with the challenge and the pass, finds Gary Speed, sends it wide for Wallace. Ooh, two Rangers defenders collided with each other. It provides Leeds with a corner. It came off Richard Goff.
See, we've got to virtually into the last 10 minutes of the game, and it's the first time McPherson has had to do any orthodox defending. He's had a licence to just come out, pick up any spare ball and surge forward.
Leeds have pushed a lot in there. Newsom's in there. White's in there. McCoist. I think it was Ferguson who got it away. Here's Dorigo. Everybody except Lukic in the Rangers half at the moment. Chapman trying to make something with the header, but it goes across the goal to Brown. Dorigo backpedaling.
I think it should be pointed out as well, you know, we were talking to a lot of Rangers people today who all insisted that even if they only won by 1 goal, I mean, we would be looking and saying 2-1's a good result for Leeds. But they were looking and saying, don't worry about us, the Rangers boys. They feel they can score anywhere they go.
Well, they beat the Danish champions Lyngby. They won both home and away there in the previous round. Here's Strachan knocking it through to Batty, and now for Chapman. Wallace. Batty again. Played in once more for Chapman. Knocked back again. McCoist almost got there before White, and it put them off balance, and suddenly McCall's on the break for Rangers. He's got Haitley on this side. Haitley now with a great chance for Rangers, and stopped by Lukic. With 4 minutes of the game left, that could have been a crushing blow for Leeds. A great ball played in there by McCall.
I think this is fortunate here. They managed to keep him going on his right side. Gets under his feet a little bit, and Newsom takes some of the pace out of it. And that was at a time when really all this sort of electricity had gone out of Rangers, if you like. They seem to have gone quiet. They seem as if they've set up for 2-1.
Haitley. Played through for McCoist, but Lukic read that well enough. It looks as though Rocky Rocastle's coming on for Leeds. Substitutions late in the game, eat up a few seconds. I don't know whether a Leeds player maybe is... Garrigo, in fact, was looking at the bench just a few moments ago as though he was struggling a little bit.
Well, logically, you'd think it would be Strachan, but...
All out of play on the far side. So,
logically, you'd think it would be Strachan, but he seems to be playing well, doesn't he?
But it's Strachan who's coming off. So Rocastle with fresh legs down that right-hand side. Sad to hear him getting whistles, but I suppose that's part of this particular course. But
he'll love that. He'll know he's played well. He'll regard that as a mark of respect on that.
And he has played well.
Yeah, he has. I mean,
he took that knock very early in the game and he shook it off. But here are Rangers again. Haitley's header. Leeds goal kick.
Yes,
2 minutes of the game left now.
And Rocastle, you know, it's not an easy time to come into the game as a substitute, is it? Particularly against the side of the field that's been the most effective. I mean, I could see Robertson every time now he gets a chance to gamble, where Strachan had just resisted that. I think what's worked very well for Leeds is Stephen going up. Stephen was giving them a great superiority in midfield. Since he's left, Leeds have more or less got that ascendancy now, haven't they? They look as if they're controlling the game more.
Foul by Goff, free kick for Leeds. No cause to hurry. And they're taking their time.
As I thought Trevor Stephen was doing an excellent job there, you know, just tucking in and keep feeding it and making little darting runs inside that made it hard for the Leeds players to pick him up.
Dorigo's free kick, up towards Lee Chapman, surrounded by blue shirts though. Batty getting up. Rocastle with a touch. Touched in again there. Haitley gets it away, but now Haitley's got to sprint forward. It's with Ian Durant. Back comes Wallace. It's being tracked there by McAllister, but he got a bit of pace on him, Durant. And in the end, Leeds leave it to McAllister. He gets it away, hits it long up towards Lee Chapman, and towards the corner flag there. Sort of place to play it in the last minute or so of a game. Leeds content with a 2-1 defeat. When, to be honest, Ron, in those minutes up to half-time, you fear that it might be a heavier defeat than that for them. And of course it might still be with the seconds that are left, but...
Yes, they'll be satisfied with the second half's work, I feel sure. You know, they haven't been under anything like the pressure they looked as if they were going to be under.
Newsom up towards Chapman. Defender Brown flying all over Chapman there.
In fact, the game actually in the last 20 minutes or so has got a little bit messy, hasn't it?
What a strange ball from John Newsom, given away badly there. But the final whistle has gone, and Leeds United go back to Ellen Road. A goal behind with a 2-1 defeat here after that brilliant start given them in the opening minute of the game by McAllister. Lukic's own goal and McCoist for Rangers. No goals in the second half, and Leeds will feel that they can overturn that, I'm sure, at Ellen Road. Rangers feel that they are still in with more than a chance, and it all adds up to what should be a tremendous night in a fortnight's time.
For Glasgow Rangers by 2-1 over Leeds United. To hear the views of Howard Wilkinson, the Leeds manager, let's go down and join Matthew Lorenzo.
Howard, a 2-1 deficit, but you got the away goal. You must be happy about that.
Well, could have been worse, but it could have been better. First half, started off well, lost our concentration, conceded what I thought was a bad goal, second goal. So we've got an away goal, we've lost, and I suppose the best way to lose is by 1 goal with an away goal in your pocket.
Certainly an intimidating atmosphere for your team here. How do you think they cope with it?
Well, they cope well at times, particularly the second half.
Okay, we'll see you.